Welcome to the Riverview Systems Group podcast series. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Riverview podcast series. I'm Tim Healy, Director of Sales and Business Development. Once again, here with Evan Williams, CEO and owner of Riverview Systems Group. Today, we are going to chat about the difference between a boutique AV company, such as ours, and nationwide in-house AV providers that our clients run into in hotels and ballrooms. Competition is good and there's lots of sand in the AV sandbox, but let's talk about what you get with a Riverview-sized company versus some AV company who our clients see that treat them more by the invoice or customer number. Evan, what are your thoughts on this?
It's a deep subject. It's something that we discuss here a lot. We have over the years. And I think it's a good thing for us to talk about because we can cut to the chase on how it is that an in-house company works, what their motivation is, what the hotel expects, and then what it ends up costing the customer. We do work all over the world regularly, and certainly all over the United States every month. There are certain jurisdictional rules in hotels now, such as rigging provided by the in-house provider, and that's fine as long as you trust the in-house company to verify weights, so on and so forth. We will typically have a production rigger on a show because at the end of the day, they might do the rigging, but if something happens, everyone is responsible. Secondly, you have people ask the question, well, there's a freight number on here, and if we go with a local vendor or an in-house vendor, then we probably won't have to incur those charges. People need to look very carefully at the estimates that they get from in-house companies because not only are the prices per day, and you would typically get a per event price from us in terms of the technical support equipment. But you won't see a particular discount, and at the very bottom, after the very expensive labor rates, you will see a service charge that is typically as much as 24%. That's on top of everything. That is not negotiable. You can't get that written out of your contract. And that is essentially the means of the AV company recouping a profit when there are amounts given back to the hotel for each rental that is done to a customer that's in a ballroom doing an event. So when it comes right down to it, it's an apples and oranges situation where, yes, you're paying freight from us, but you're paying a service charge that's really not connected to anything. It's just added to the bottom line so the in-house company can make a profit on, what they're renting to the customer. Many years ago, so long ago that it was when the convention center opened here in downtown San Jose and the very first convention hotel opened, the San Jose Hilton. For a time, we were in-house at the San Jose Hilton. At the time, there were not these egregious service charges tacked on to everything, but there was a contractual obligation between Riverview and San Jose Hilton and the business center and all of that to get a cut of everything that we sold. We did that successfully for several years until the point came where the management of the hotel wanted to renegotiate what that cut looked like, and it was more than we were willing to put forth. So it was a good experience. It was probably a good thing that we did it because we got a lot of inside insight into how hotels work with in-house vendors and so on. And now it's that percentage or cut, if you will, is significantly more as a percentage of the whole than it used to be. Hence, we're coming right back around to service charges. Yes, and it's something I've spoken about at conferences when I've been asked to speak about a particular subject, whether it's union labor, which is something that we have vast knowledge about in working in various locals all over the country, as well as how to work with in-house vendors when you have to, because there are certain jurisdictions within their purview that are exclusive. Whether we like that or not, you have to make that work. You have to communicate. You have to be the people that rise above. And working with a company like ours, of a size where you can depend on the same crew leads show after show, is a much better experience at the end of the day for the customer and for their success.
Well, and you and I were actually talking about this yesterday, where we have a full staff. We have a crew. We have folks in the front office. We have a design team. We have a warehouse team. And like you're talking about, where our clients are seeing familiar faces, it is in a situation where we're a company with a few people in the front office and we hire a slew of contractors and providers. We have a team. And so that's something that when I was a client for 13 years before coming on board here at Riverview, I knew that I would be seeing the familiar faces and people that I could count on that I had worked with before. And that's a unique thing that we are able to offer, having a staff of, what are we at, 45, 50 folks at this point that we have full-time on hand. That's special.
Yeah, and I mean, don't forget that there's a pool of trusted contractors.
Absolutely.
That we go out of our way to provide event over event that our customers have grown accustomed to.
Right.
They might not be full-time, but always there is some leadership that comes from our full-time pool, and that's what folks depend on. Seeing the same faces, the trust is built, and that's the way we have to do business. It's difficult to scale and grow in those circumstances because you're working with a finite number of employees and contractors, and we have a slew of repeat customers.
Right.
And we play the calendar game with them, and we're very good at playing the calendar game in getting advance notice on dates, sometimes a year in advance, so that we can dedicate those folks that they're used to seeing to their events. Once you develop a relationship like that, if you have to substitute someone, the client is much more likely to go, oh, okay, because they trust you.
Right. And
you've pulled off flawless events under less than ideal circumstances in the past, and they grow to depend on us.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we are indeed very proud of the level of service that we provide, and we don't want to be so big that we lose that personal touch. Thanks, Evan, for taking the time again to sit down with us.
Thank you, Tim. See you next time.
Thanks to all our listeners, and look for our next episode coming soon.